first location was driving up Mount Lemmon, one of my favorite birding spots in southeast Arizona. And two goals, really, hummingbirds and mountain warblers. The Santa Catalina Highway goes 27 miles up the mountain, thousands of feet in elevation, and goes through multiple habitats. So it is an excellent place to bird really close to Tucson. Mount Lemmon tops off at over 9,000 feet. I wasn't going quite that high, heading to Palisades Visitor Center. First stop. One of my favorite things here at the Palisade Ranger Station and Visitor Center is just to try and photograph these hummingbirds in flight, and they are battling. I think there's some Rufous, broad-tailed, and can you hear them? The zing of the wings of the broad-tailed are very obvious. Yeah, they're going a little crazy. And boy, there sure were a lot of hummingbirds, a lot of Rufous of the female and immature types, and then all of a sudden, here comes, just wait for it, yeah, the male. One single male I saw, well, here, but wow, what a stunner. And he didn't really tolerate anybody sharing, quote unquote, his feeder. But look at that gorget, coppery green glow on his throat, wow. But you can hear the very chatty Rufous in the background. Then look who joined the party, a magnificent hummingbird. Yes, it's called Rivolis, but that will change as we are getting rid of all honorific names. And I love the name Magnificent Hummingbird, and how fitting. They are magnificent. Big, burly, colorful hummingbirds. But, you know, in most light, like in this one who's in the shade, they look kind of black-throated and black-headed. Unlike these I saw at the airport with blue crowns and purple throat, well, check it out. These guys have the opposite of that. Stunning purple crown and blue throat when the light hits it. Wow. Okay, I'm sorry. I've just got to see that again. It was also crazy that Alex Lamoureux showed up with his Wildside Natures Tour group. And Alex used to work in Duluth. And I just saw him on my friend Frank Nicoletti's Facebook post this morning from up in Nome, Alaska. So, yeah, just kind of odd juxtaposition. Hey, aren't you supposed to be in Alaska? And here we are on Mount Lemmon in southeast Arizona. Alex is such an amazing birder, and he just looked up and said, oh, it's zone-tailed hawk going overhead. Sure enough, zone-tailed hawk going overhead. They weren't even on my radar to look for them up here on Mount Lemmon. As often is the case, soaring with turkey vultures. Try to do about 6 different types of shots here. I got my flash, slow motion flash, so rear sync flash, shooting the hummingbirds about 60th, 30th of a second, and then popping a flash, get a little motion in the wings and the body, but it'll kind of freeze them as well. It's kind of a cool look. I don't think I did very well. Also shooting video at 1/5000th of a second. Yeah, and you could pluck single frames out of that for some cool shots. To illustrate this, take a look at this very short clip. Right there, boom. That was shot at 5,000th of a second video. And now check it out, slowed down to 2%. Each one of those images could make an awesome still photo because your resolution is still 4K. And then check out this example as well. So kind of a fun technique you can use with many species. It would have worked beautifully with this Rivoli's hummingbird as well. While in flight, it was just a little out of focus, comes back into focus while landing again. But fun technique to try. And P.S. that was shown to you at 10% speed. Yeah, also some straight up flash as well, but sorry, distracted by a Stellar's Jay. So hard to get focus on these birds when they're flying away from the feeder. So I guess I got a few of them with the feeder in the background, which is not ideal. This little Rufus sitting on a stick, of course, but certainly popping the flash helps illuminate the iridescence on their throat feathers and body feathers. And I'm going to have a whole standalone episode on, creative ideas for photographing hummingbirds in the future as well. I could have sat at the hummingbird feeders there for a long time. Ooh, check out the Anna's glow on its entire head and that rosy red. Coming from Minnesota where we have one species, it was really cool to watch the antics of 4 different hummingbird species. But I had to move on because one of my other goals was to see several of the mountain warbler species in southeast Arizona and headed up nearby Incinerator Ridge. The places we take rental cars, huh? I had to stop and film this. 58 degrees, coldest of the trip. 108, the warmest, 50-degree difference. Incinerator Ridge. Now, what are the odds a short-tailed hawk will drift by? Well, there was one here being seen fairly regularly for a month or longer. So maybe I'll just sit here and wait. Really quiet here on Incinerator Ridge. But I did run into Greg and Danya from Sabine Woods area of Texas. What a delightful couple and very knowledgeable. So it was really fun to connect with them. And I think they got me talked into going to Sabine Woods in late April. Yeah, check it out. Tons of warblers, I guess. Just bring your mosquito head net. But Alex said they had a great morning in Rose Lake Canyon. So maybe I'll give that a shot. But first I thought I'd try and track down some black-chinned sparrow sightings. I've seen them before, but never gotten a photo, not even a bad photo. So that was my next goal. While you're admiring this pipevine swallowtail from further down the mountain, I want to address something everybody says. Why are you going to Arizona in summer? Well, mid-August is still the monsoon season and the peak of a lot of breeding activity of many of the specialty birds. Oh, yes, it's a great place to come in July and August. This is Geology Point. It's supposed to be a good spot for black-chinned sparrow. And I just thought I heard that very high-pitched seep call note. But I can't hear its distinctive bouncing ball call or song. Maybe they breed earlier. I don't know. I'll try a few different spots. Beautiful spots. Yeah, it's crazy. All these bikers going up Mount Lemmon. I'm very jealous that A, they're able to do it. I don't know, B, that they're able to do it. And sure enough, I heard that seep right when I got out of the car and the flock flew off. I tracked one, got a photo. It was Rufous crowned sparrow. And then I saw a bigger, darker bird and I got some photos, but my camera didn't focus and that was it, the black-chinned. Out of focus, way out of focus. So I'll be back later today. I came down to Manzanita viewpoint because somebody had one here on eBird and this is what they like. Now this is the habitat of the black-chinned sparrow, this really sparse, arid slopes. And I saw one here just briefly this morning and I'm gonna go for it again. It's 73 degrees, I don't hear anything calling. But I'm gonna go up to the top and see if I can look down. Let's go. Nope, not this time. Next time I'll come back maybe in June when they're in the midst of breeding. Oh, sad. I hate it when you find roadkill of a species that people have rarely seen, and actually most people thought was extinct, and here one was alive and now it was killed by a car. So sad. Please slow down, people. I did find a very much alive Wilson's warbler, and I thought, could this be the start of a warbler wave? And then an obvious warbler chip note alerted me to the high canopy of the, I guess they're ponderosa pines. And there was a Grace's warbler way up there, kind of a neck breaker, just foraging up in the needles. But I tried some still photos, but this is the best I really got. Cool to see. And the first of the Southeast Arizona mountain warblers today. And this is the best I could do with a still image. Hey, better than any other photo I've gotten of this canopy dweller. About a half hour later, I was still wandering down the road in Rose Lake Canyon and saw some stuff on the ground. Turned out to be pygmy nuthatches foraging very low. And then there was a mountain chickadee, and then a bridled titmouse. And yeah, this was the start of the wave I'd been looking for. The start of one of those famous Rose Canyon Lake warbler waves. It was like dead quiet here in Rose Canyon campgrounds, and all of a sudden I hit the major mother lode of waves, including tons of bush tits, bridled titmouse, mountain chickadees. And most exciting for me, black-throated gray warbler. And I'm chasing him around. He's foraging at eye level, so I gotta go. A red-faced warbler. I was just standing there photographing a black-throated gray, and a red-faced warbler was foraging like 20 feet away. Finally worked itself within about 6 feet of me. But wow, what a stunning critter. You don't see red on too many warblers. Only seen in southwest New Mexico, southeast Arizona, and only above 6,000 feet. True mountain warbler in the Sky Islands. Yeah, pretty cool. I gotta sit down and take a break. I've been chasing these warblers, this warbler wave, well, bird wave. It's crazy. Ugh, but they are so busy feeding that they don't pause. And so I've been trying. Always, they're in the sticks and the camera focuses on a stick, and because the eye tracking with a little bird moving that fast is in brush, not good. So I was photographing that red-faced warbler and trying to get some video And then a male gracis warbler pops up, and they're usually, way up in the top of the pines. I switched from the red-faced to the gracis, but it's gave me the slip. So now I'm just kind of waiting. Gonna wait them out when I figure out. But I'm in Rose Creek Canyon, that's all I know. This is the beautiful random spot with the major warbler wave. And sometimes, it was just dead. Sometimes you just got to keep walking. And I started following one bird, and then the flood came through, and now it's gone. Really quiet again. But I'm hoping I can catch up with another wave. That was amazing. And I did not get a good gracis warbler photo. As usual, I like to share my favorite photos with you guys from the trip, and in this case from Mount Lemmon, starting with a bunch of Rufous Hummingbirds. This one just a straight flash photo, freezing everything. This one I underexposed by a couple stops and brought out the orange in the tail feathers. I kind of like that look. It's kind of cool and different. Here is a straight up flash, boom, hitting that gorget so to make those iridescent feathers shine. Love it. And I popped the flash at this Rivoli's, revealing those crazy colors. You'd rarely see that in just natural light. And wouldn't be Sparky's favorites if there wasn't a silhouette or two. And this hummingbird I talked about before, but slow shutter speed, rear sync flash, 60th of a second, and then popping the flash creates this interesting ghostly image. And then just some little nice warbler shots, Wilson's warbler, and this close-up of a red-faced warbler. It was so close to me, it was crazy. I had a really hard time getting any great photos. This is the one I like. Always tough taking photos of quick, fast-moving birds when they're in the bushes. Got a clean background on this black-throated gray warbler somehow. Same with this mountain chickadee, and the branches kind of add to the composition here. And your classic pygmy nuthatch. They're usually way up in the trees, so I was thrilled to get this eye-level shot as it was bark gleaning. And you even get a hint of the tufts of pine needles in the background, which that's where they live, on the trunks of these big pines. So pretty happy with that. And ending with saguaros silhouetted at that blue sunset. In the next episode, we're going to Madera Canyon, you bet. And I think in episode 3, we're going to hit Box Canyon and Los Ciénegas. And there might even be another bonus episode where we go to Sycamore Canyon to find one of North America's rarest warblers. So get ready, buckle up, stay tuned, turn on the AC. Yeah, more coming at you with Shooting with Sparky in Southeast Arizona.